So, this episode of Loft Talk, we're going to talk about a specific topic that I want to talk about.
A specific something.
It's just some. And the topic is pretty much what the fuck happened to hip hop? And I know that is like a very broad thing to say. But before I start, I also want to introduce my main man Kyle and Natestolgic.
Hey, what up, though? What's good? What's good? Hey, well, before you continue, we talking about what happened to hip hop. I want to know what happened to my sunglasses. Like, how are y'all on here with sunglasses?
Dude, this light is very bright.
Yes.
But I don't get See, that's that bullshit. Cause y'all got sunglasses. Cause the light is bright. And I don't got sunglasses.
Because
I know it's cause I'm black. I understand. It's cause I'm black and I'm bald.
Because you're not cool enough to have sunglasses.
It's cause I'm not cool enough to have sunglasses.
Yeah.
Some of y'all,
Joey was almost bald 2 weeks ago. Look at that.
Right.
He grow
Right.
fast.
Look at him. He grow real fast.
He grow fast.
Joey now with the fade looking like some motherfuckers always want to ice skate uphill.
So look, the reason why I wanted to talk about this concept is because in the last couple years, I mean, let's be truthful. And we're going to talk about hip hop. We're not talking about pop music, okay?
It's the same.
No, it's not.
It is now.
It is now, okay? All right. We're going to talk about hip hop, okay? And I know people are probably going to be like, "Oh, you're just going back to the old school, the 90s, the 80s, the early 2000s." Yes, nigga, I'm going to talk about that. But also, I'm going to talk about also new artists that do come out that actually sound dope as fuck, but yet the public doesn't give any of a chance because of the mindset that we have nowadays. Now, hip-hop is a culture. Let's get that one straight. It's a culture. We created something out of nothing, and it's the youngest culture but the biggest culture in the entire world.
Influence-wise, it came in hot.
It came in
mad
hot.
So hot.
And
so fast.
And it just never stopped. But the problem I got is that, like, I can't listen to music like that anymore. And the reason why is because the creativity can't and won't. The creativity, okay? I'm not even going to go back to the main albums, okay? We're just going to talk about just creativity in general. We're going to talk about creating a brand, creating who you really are, and also remember, hip hop is poetry and it's a voice. You know what I'm saying? So whatever you do and project out, people are going to retrieve it and feel like, okay, this is me, or this is exactly how the world is. Let's take, for instance, I relate hip hop as a woman. Okay? Hip hop is freedom, like a woman being free, a woman being beautiful, a woman being very, very promiscuous, but also a woman not being a hoe. A woman being very intelligent, but not dumb.
This guy going on a full preamble.
Being just who she is, and that's who you accept her for. She's fun-loving. She loves you whether you're right or wrong, but she also will tell you the truth about yourself. And that's what I consider hip-hop to be. That's
a definition.
That's a mad definition, bro.
That is not what the fuck it is now. Okay. I mean, okay. You have a new voice of the new age, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm not a youngin' no more. I'm approaching the old school.
He said old head.
You're old head.
I'm an old head now.
There's some
You know what I'm
grays up
saying?
there.
40 is an old head. Where the
40, shawty.
Where the fuck that comes up with, I don't even know.
Give me some slit small liquor, shawty.
Yeah, you know what I'm
The
saying?
contrast on this camera is doing him justice.
Absolutely.
So I'm just gonna break it down. You know what I'm saying? Even from influences, from artists to producers. I'm gonna start with influences.
Yeah, give us a launch pad.
How is it influencing the new age from men to women, even in the early teens to late 30s? Like, how is it really influencing it? Because I used to remember like it really influenced, even with the female artists that would come out. They would have to come out 10 times harder than the men. and they used to do their thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Shout out to Missy fucking Elliott because she's a fucking legend.
Flowers.
Like Missy paved the way for a lot of the women nowadays for rapping and doing what they wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying like Missy came out with a whole bunch of shit sex appeal. What I'm saying is Missy came out with creativity, and Missy came out like, yo, this is me. You're going to accept it. Her beats were fire. Everything was original. And plus she had Timberland on her side. And those two was like Batman and Robin. Like,
and they would switch.
Yeah, they would switch
Absolutely.
up. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, you used to like, let's say you're at a party, whatever, you talk to somebody, whether they're male, you can relate to them, you guys start talking. Whether they're female, you can relate to her, you guys start talking, you guys start vibing with each other. You know what I'm saying? It was all on an even playing ground. I'm gonna read you something that I found on Facebook, okay?
All right.
I'm gonna read you
All right.
something.
I'm listening.
Okay. So, someone posted on Facebook, women share a list of how much men should be spending on them. And I know you're like, what the fuck does that have to do with hip hop? Because it's the fucking influence of today. The bare minimum, breakfast, $50.
Is that for the ticket combined, or
no? That's just for them.
Oh, okay.
That's one person, or
one
that's
one person.
One person.
One person. Her lunch, $80. Gas for her to come see you, $100. Brunch, $150. Dinner, $200. Getting her nails and makeup done, $250. Outfit, $300. And a wig or extensions, $400.
okay.
$40 is never acceptable ever in life.
So
Why the hell am I saying that?
I was about to ask you the same question.
Because that's what we now perceive the generation to be.
Okay.
That's what we now perceive it to be. Okay?
Well, your plugins you bought were $300.
Exactly. That's what we're perceiving. I'm not saying it's not right to, you know, treat a lady out and anything like that.
I was about to say, is this once a year?
But like this is a perception of, because hip hop is so much of a culture that we have derived people to think like this. Like,
see, I have a slight argument with what you're saying.
Go ahead.
All right, so check this out. So I hear what you're saying. Definitely the influence comes from there, but I feel like we need to flip this a little bit. See, because I think that the influence comes from what others are influenced to do. So we're caught up in this mindset that because this particular part of the generation is the way that it is, that's why hip hop markets to it. But I feel like it's the other way around. That hip hop created this individual. Hip hop, pop, I should say, in a lot of ways, created this individual because it was what was popular, that thinks that way. And when that's all that's marketed,
then what else
to the individuals, what else are they supposed to act like? Yeah. When you are told, and honestly, you can go back to Foxy Brown. You can go back to lyrics you can go to R&B tracks and things like that as well. And you can listen to what they're saying in these songs from the late 90s to the mid 2000s. And a lot of it is talking about are women, not women specifically saying this, but it's geared toward this mindset. So they market it to this way, and now everybody thinks that way. Instead of women think this way, so I'm gonna make music for women that think that way. Not saying that people don't make music for women that think that way, but saying that music is sent toward those people, and it's towards the people that are gonna spend the money and listen to it.
It's Tiffany Twisted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
okay.
And like music is a business just like as anything else is a business.
Yes, and I get that
And
100%.
of course we could go on the deep way, you know, and be like, oh yeah, so music industry is owned by large corporations that just want to make sure that they're getting their money from X, Y, and Z and their sponsorships, and they talk about it this way and this way and that
Kind
way.
of the direction I'm going.
You can go that direction.
That
100%.
is the direction I'm going. Absolutely.
That is the direction you're going.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's that.
Yeah.
But okay, so yeah, and look,
That's one way.
I totally agree, and 100% agree with you on that. You know what I'm saying? It's just, and I'm talking about hip hop in general.
Why do you think there's so many designer names specifically mentioned, my boy?
I know, it's all a conspiracy theory. Yeah, and I know that, and it's coming out to light. Yeah, it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have people who should be known who aren't known. You have people who should never had a chance, got a chance because they know that the industry can market them and they can funnel their stuff through them.
Also, their names sound cool.
Yeah, I mean, and they can funnel their stuff to them, and you know, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And my thing about it is, I'm not being racist towards when the music is out right now. There's a lot of cats I do think that are hot, but you got, I mean, anybody who's even listening to this can say that there's a large pool of garbage out there.
Tons of it. And it's and like the overwhelming topic is definitely materialistic.
Yeah.
I was watching, just to throw this out there, and I think we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves because I was thinking like we need to talk on like the transition and the influences that led to where we're at now that created new influences. I think there's like a huge chain of staggering that happened here.
Oh, absolutely.
100%. But I was watching Genius, and I don't remember who it was specifically, but it applies like on a very wide band. 100% there was a shift in the bedroom producer world, and people know and people will eat content that they know is fake, bro. And people, these lyricists, these rappers, everything, they don't care to live that lifestyle that they're even rapping about. None of them care about that, bro. They don't want anything to do with that. And that's okay in a way that from an artistical standpoint, I'm not saying it's okay, but I'm saying it's okay from an artistical standpoint that they are making music not for themselves, which I think is another big change. People were making music because they made it for themselves, to the shift to where people are making music for specific audiences instead to ride a specific wave because they are making music for one sole purpose, and that one sole purpose is to give someone feelings on loan for 3 minutes, bro. So like, I'm going to write this song because it makes me feel this way, and I'm going to give it to this group of people because they like that feeling, and I am going to get my music heard. That's it.
Look, name a classic album in the last 15 fucking years. Name 3. Name 3 classic albums from top to bottom in the last 15 years that does have nothing to do with J. Cole, Jay-Z, Kendrick Lamar, Dre, Snoop, any of them. Name one.
I mean, that's perspective, my bro.
That is very much perspective.
That's perspective.
I mean, because we can talk about A$AP Rocky's catalog, because we can definitely call out an A$AP Rocky album as a classic. We can definitely talk about Kanye, since you didn't mention. But we talked about
Kanye was in that list. I just didn't mention him.
Yeah, but like, I mean, that's definitely perspective when we start talking about classics. But I think that when you're starting to talk about what is considered classic, I think we start to shift into opinions. The in-between of the in-between of that is quality of music has changed because we were reliant on streams now, and because we don't have the gatekeeping that a radio disc jockey used to have.
Nope. They had so much power.
So much power. And
then
it goes back to your genuineness in music. we're not being genuine on albums. We're creating feelings so that way somebody will buy that feeling.
Yeah, and you know what? And you're right. You're right. I mean, Kyle's right. It's feelings on loan. You know what I'm saying? What I consider a classic album is the feeling of the whole album. Okay? That's what I consider a classic album.
Mm-hmm.
It's not and it's about the oneness between the artist and the producer. Like, you can feel that. Like, I even say, like, I even put this out there, like Savage and fucking Metro Boom.
Yeah.
They are one unique as one. You know what I'm saying? Because they both fit with each other. You know what I'm saying? They both know, they both understand. And let's go back to the education of the artist. The education of the artist now is, let's give me a beat from fucking YouTube. I take it to someone who makes beats. I recreate the beat. I go ahead and rap on it. Oh yeah, I'm making streams now, this, that, and the other. Give no props to the producer at all. Go ahead, does it again with another producer, to another producer, to another producer after that. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the education of an artist not knowing what the role of a producer is, not listening to a producer.
Well, the whole role of producer and engineer is changing very fast. And even some of the people that I watch, like on YouTube, you know, like mastering engineers, stuff like that, people that have been in the industry for a long time will be the first to admit how much it's changed. And I think part of the whole conversation is that producing became a prosumer availability.
Mm-hmm.
It became an art that anyone could touch, which I think is great.
Yeah.
That is amazing that outlet is more attainable than ever. But at the same time, when things like that occur, there's going to be people that sell themselves short. And then the problem is and competition is a great thing for the consumer at the end point, being an artist, right? Like, producers have watered themselves down to like dog food, like Gravy Train, homie. Like,
no, and
like,
you know, and
buy one beat, $15, get 7 free on BeatStars, bro. Like, why would the dude ripping it off YouTube is saving $15? He doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, but I mean, that starts to boil down to accessibility.
Yeah.
I mean, that's off of that we need gatekeepers in the industry kind of situation.
But the accessibility means that we don't have those clubs anymore where you can go and meet these people, where you can go and just hang out with them, vibe with them, and just be like, hey, you know, I rap. Hey, I produce. Here goes some of my beats. You listen to them. Yo, this is how I rap. Oh shit, your shit dope. All right, yo, why don't you come through to the studio? Let me see what you got. All right, let me tell you something. Let me tell you a story. This motherfucker over here, Natestolgic. Do you understand? The first time I fucking heard him rap, there were fucking 7 people in my studio. 7 people talking. And I'm sitting up there making a beat. And out of everything, I tune everybody out. I can have one ear on listening and the other ear tuning everybody out on what I'm doing. And it took for him to mumble up under his voice 2 lines where I was doing. I was like, yo, say that shit again. Oh yeah, that shit was hot. Yo, I want you to take this beat, go right to it. And that's where the story began.
And that is the beautiful thing. Like, I've had a decent amount of people tell me, and I've fiddled with the idea of like doing it and everything like that, just because, like, why not make the money to sell tracks, you know?
Yeah.
But I think Joey will be the first to attest. How often, or have I ever like sold a song to someone? Never.
Have you ever sold a?
No.
I had to sit.
Okay.
I was like,
yes, like one, but that's a very different situation.
Yeah.
But I thrive for the organicness of art. Like, at the end of the day, like, I want to make dope sounds with my family, bro. You know, my family.
Absolutely.
And that's y'all. And thank you for all that over the past couple of years. It's therapy, as music for therapy over there, Joey. But I will say that I think that we lost something for a gain in another place. I think a lot of art disappears when you lose a little bit of exclusivity. Exclusivity where the keys are handed to the people that earn them.
See, and kind of going off of that, continuing off of that, although we're in this place, I mean, all you have to do is look at the whole situation, Kendrick, Drake, that whole thing, was pretty much pop versus hip hop in a lot of ways.
That's all it was pop versus hip hop.
Pop versus hip hop. That's exactly what that was. If you watch that concert, like, pretty much tells it all.
Yeah.
But I digress from there. I don't want to go too far. Yeah. But I feel like we're in a place in hip hop where, and I heard this from somebody else, I can't take credit for it, but hip hop is starting to come off of the top spot of the, it's not the top music genre. It's starting to move down the list, and I think that's a good thing. And here's the reason why I think that's a good thing. The likelihood of you running into something that's a little more avant-garde
happens.
Yep. The likelihood of you think of jazz. Jazz at one point was the popular music, and it started to come down.
It fought to get there.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then as it started to come down from that popular spot, you begin to start appreciating it in a different way. And I feel like we're at this point now where you're getting this like new boom bap sound. You're getting this newer hip hop refined sound where people appreciate it.
Yep.
And we're at this culture change. Right now we're at the interchange. Like that's why we're all frustrated now, because we've been riding into this wall for so long.
Also, shout out to Larry June.
Oh, absolutely.
Shout out to Larry June.
Absolutely.
Once you said that, that's what came in my mind was Larry June. I was just like,
absolutely.
Yeah, shout out to Larry June and Alchemist. I ever heard that album. That shit was fire.
It's fire. Talk about a classic.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, and the only reason why I'm bringing this up is because it's the education behind it. Mm-hmm. This education behind, like, look at some of the stuff. Even if you are not in that lane, it's like, look at the blueprint from some of the stuff. Like, one of my favorite albums is Donuts from Jay Dilla. Jay Dilla made that album while dying. Literally dying in a hospital. And all it is nothing but drum breaks and loops. But yet he told a whole entire story of how people are going to miss him, how he fears death, how he felt about his fans. Like, it was a tribute, and it's education, because like the way he sampled stuff, the way he chopped stuff in there was amazing that no other producer possibly would ever thought about doing it. And it was done in 2006, and until this day, like, it's still one of my favorite albums. And it's not just because I'm a boom bap, I sample, I have a record collection. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the fact about it's the education behind it. That album right there changed my whole perspective of what I thought about music, not just hip hop, music. It made me dig deeper into stuff I would have never dug into, like electronics, like blues, like digging into like just straight piano jazz, stuff like that. It made me open up my mind. And that's what I'm kind of getting at, is that minds aren't being open. They're just taking the blueprint from someone else and passing on to someone else. I think
it actually, to kind of play off that. Yeah. I'm sorry, I had a good point to jump in on you there. I think that it's the education, the way you're saying it, is perfect. And the lack thereof. There was a break point where it was like, all right. So I have you, right? You're over here, you're chopping, you've been doing it for years, you've been sampling, you have your record library, you have this, you have your sound, you were influenced by your predecessor.
Yeah.
You have a predecessor as well,
yeah.
Right? So in a natural, organic situation, it would be me, right? I'd come into your studio because you were like, all right, this guy, yeah, it's pretty decent, it just seems like he's got a good head on him and is interested. And then you hand the plate. You hand the plate and then the new seasoning happens. That's innovation. That's me taking my influences from previous and then applying it to a workflow and then taking that workflow and tweaking it. And then I get someone and I hand the plate down and it produces like that, right? And that leads to your knowledge, my knowledge, the knowledge of your predecessor all coming together. That's quality. That's art. That's influence. That's culture. That's literally culture.
Yeah, it is.
And then that chain got snipped, bro. And that does not exist anymore.
I can't even come back on that because you're right.
That's literally what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So you have ground, bare bones, not a damn thing, listening to the radio jockeys that had the full control. That's your influence, right? You have the front page of Spotify and Apple Music pushing at, specific times exactly what the same thing that the radio jockeys are pushing, right? You have that. And you have the kid with his laptop.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what he's going to make? With no previous knowledge, no other influences, and I am going to copy the only thing that's in front of me. It's the only thing that's in front of
He's
them.
going to either do the mumble thing or he's going to sound like J. Cole with no substance in his lyrics.
Right.
And that's another thing. It's just substance. You know what I'm saying? Remember, like, for every artist, it doesn't matter hip hop, R&B, pop, neo soul, rock, gospel, opera, etc.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
thriving.
And then those also came into influence in harder ways because
absolutely.
those genres changed in ways that also people would argue is like,
yeah, but a lot of those people thrive from the person's shame and their pain and projecting it back to them, saying they don't understand.
See, but that's a main argument that a lot of folks are calling out old heads on. Because they're all like, a lot of folks are saying that we poo-poo a lot, or like a lot of young folks will say we poo-poo on their music.
yeah, of course, it happens every generation.
Because we think that it's garbage. But the thing is that it's just part of that chain.
It is.
And it changed and it adjusted and evolved.
It did.
I mean, I'm not gonna sit up here and lie
it's just changing. It's changing in a different way that we've never seen.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I've heard a lot of good new artists, and I've heard them through other people who put me on them, and I was like, yo, this shit's dope. You know what I'm saying? Or they're coming with they're coming real. They're coming genuine on what they're trying to do.
Yeah, but how many of their names do you remember, bro?
That's the thing about it. You're right. You're exactly right. And I don't know. It's the change in culture. And the culture has a change in people's perspective of reality. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad.
I got something for you. I'll keep digging our hole. I'll dig our hole.
Go ahead.
Just because, like, I mean, I have an influence downstairs that's great for me to understand a lot of this. You know what I mean? So this is a great way to put it. So you're saying, like I just said, how many names of them do you remember, right? And it's because I think there's even a change going back to what I was saying about, like, just fitting a vibe, the putting someone in a specific space for a specific moment of time, a feeling on loan, all of that stuff. The artist is starting to take a backseat. As in, like, it's not necessarily a name, it's not a face as much as it used to be, versus it's a sound. And I use that word sound very specifically because you ask a kid that's sitting there doom scrolling on TikTok,
Mm.
and they won't even say this is a song that I found. They'll be like, yo, listen to this sound. This is my favorite sound, bro. It's not even a song, it's a sound. People put their music, they put their sounds on TikTok, bro, and it's a sound.
Yeah.
Yup.
How many sounds do I have?
Yup. That's exactly right. So when you're just digging for a sound,
Which means that, I mean, that breaks down the entire fabric of a song in itself.
yes, it does.
Because then you take your individual song that either you have the true artist that put their heart and soul into, or you have the person that just wanted to make something that sounded cool and really doesn't care about it being music.
You don't even need the whole song to be good.
And you just break it up into pieces.
You
and
need
then
15 seconds of it to be good.
Yep.
And it will blow up.
And you are exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely will blow up. And because the attention span of people today are shit.
Also, we can get back to another topic that's very influential in whether or not a song passes and gains its popularity. And I think this is a great reason, because at the end of the day, this is why humans made sounds in rhythmic patterns. It's danceable, bro.
Yeah.
It's danceable. That is priority. Danceable.
You know, I slightly disagree with that to an extent.
Oh yeah.
I feel like club music doesn't really exist anymore, in the sense of like the hip hop and pop scene. It's not the same as it used to be. You don't get those club hits that you hear on the radio.
You don't need club hits.
Yeah, but I'm saying
you need 15-second bangers that are danceable. Now they can make it onto people's reels, bro. They can make their own dance. They can make their own choreography. Then they share it, and it gets hot.
Something I could just put on I could just open up my tripod and put it out on the sidewalk.
You got it.
Okay,
It's still just danceability. Or I can do it in the kids aisle on Walmart with the bouncy balls on the bike lane.
And the only reason why I brought up even the beginning of it is stating the fact about, you know, what women expect or anything, and is just because like it's the passion and love behind everything. You get your walk, you get your swag, you get your voice from music and what genre you listen to. So I listen to hip hop. That's what my voice is. That's how I talk. That's how I walk. You know. And when I see stuff like this, it's just like
It hurts.
it hurts, because like genuinely I'm a dope guy. Like, give anybody a chance. Heart full of nothing but love and compassion, and yet I have to put up four walls around me because of shit like this. And I don't think that's right. And it's influenced by the music of today, saying that, oh, you need this and they need to give you this and they need to give you that. Does have nothing to do with affection, has nothing to do with love, it has nothing to do with trust, it has to do with materialism.
Yep. What do you got, Nate? What you vibing? What you picking up? I feel like I kind of cut you off there.
Oh no, you good.
Okay.
You were,
Yeah.
you were on the point. You
Yeah,
were actually
yeah.
on the point that I was getting ready to make.
Yeah.
So, I feel like continuing on with the mindset of what you push forward in order for that to be like as an artist, like from my artist perspective, it makes me have to rethink every single song that I write. And I have a particular sound that I go with. I have a particular way of making my music, of how I make a song.
But we're talking
that
about
changes.
right here in America.
I know.
We're not talking about the if we talk about the whole world, it is way fucking different in the UK. It is way fucking different in Germany. It's way fucking different in
Of course.
China.
Yeah.
Like, it is way fucking different. I got fans in all three of the places.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
And in some places it's worse.
In some places, it's way fucking worse. Yes, and it's just like it's kind of like it's over in Europe. They have then in the UK they have a mural of fucking Jay Dilla. Don't nobody know, like maybe over 20% of the population knows who the fuck Jay Dilla is. Over in Europe, there was one person at a show when he was in a fucking wheelchair that had a shirt that said Jay Dilla saved my life. You know what I'm saying? That shirt became an iconic shirt because, like, you know, his music influenced him to change his fucking life. You know what I'm saying? You got people who's performing over there, like good artists who attract these fans because a lot of people over there love the culture. They love that. Hell, you got Wu-Tang still fucking touring, which doesn't make any fucking sense, but it does make sense because over in China, the motherfuckers is big as fuck. The motherfuckers is still huge. They still have an audience of all cultures.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? When other artists go over there that appeal to more than just what is material and just what's out right now, they appeal to them more than the people who don't. Like, to be honest with you, I'm not even being biased. I listen to old ass Gucci Man. You know what I'm saying? I still listen to Gucci. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was bumping some Waka coming to the fucking studio. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying just like East Coast type of shit. I'm just saying like it's a different vibe where I understand that everything needs to evolve. Nothing can ever stay the same. In order for something to be great, it has to evolve.
Do you think it's because it's so young still?
It's still young, and I think that's what it is. It's so young, and it's growing almost in like an opposite direction.
Is it young though? I mean,
yes.
Is it honestly?
Yes.
I mean, in comparison to
hip hop is only 44 years old.
In which arguments? Because we could say that hip hop is only 44 years old.
Well, it derived from bebop.
Yeah. Which came from what?
Jazz.
Which came from what? Like, I mean, we
Gospel.
can talk about
Yeah.
we can talk about how young it is, but I think that young conversation downplays.
I understand where you're going with it, but those there are core genres.
Yeah,
there are core genres.
I feel like the core of it,
because I mean, we could talk about like
Eastern
ethnic music is old as time. Bro.
Absolutely,
you know what I mean? Like we have, you know, even folk in America.
I feel like
is young in comparison to that.
Absolutely,
you know?
But I think that going back to my part of the argument where I was saying that hip hop is coming down the mountain. I think we need to change our mindset from how young hip hop is to how seasoned hip hop is.
Here goes the thing about it, and this is my argument behind it. My argument behind that is, yes, it is seasoned, okay? But what I need from the new school, the new people, I need people to do something groundbreaking.
They're young too.
And again, they're young too. And they're sitting up here dissing the old heads instead of learning from the old heads, taking that foundation and creating a new blueprint. Take, for instance, when Kanye came out, everybody was doing a certain type of sampling music, which was more slow, which was more DJ, which was more DJ Premier, like Pete Rock kind of thing. Kanye came out and put bounce with soul.
Yep.
With the samples. Groundbreaking. But he pushed against the wall to do that while rapping about some poetry type stuff. Okay? He didn't rap about guns and stuff about that when he was just now starting to come out. When he started evolving, he still had that same blueprint. The blueprint just evolved with him.
I think part of the whole conversation, again, I guess I'm just going to use that. You're talking about looking for something groundbreaking. I think it's being looked for, and it's harder. It's harder because the influences are being compounded. Which is like a problem in general for us, like right now, especially with art.
Yeah.
Is that there's so many influences that can happen, and there's so many young people looking for that at the same time that it's getting harder. Because I mean, like, okay, you're taking a steak and you're taking salt, and you're like, damn, I bet if I put this salt on this steak would be amazing. And that was your sampled soul with boom bap. You know, that's meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
Now we're getting to the point where it's like, oh yeah, I need this umami flavoring specifically to pair with my cilantro, which I measured out in 34 micrograms to add to my filet mignon that's seasoned with fucking extra virgin olive oil. You feel me?
Yeah,
you
yeah,
feel
yeah,
me?
yeah,
like
yeah.
like we're not even in the culinary world, we're not finding fish again. We're not figuring out that shrimp is good again.
Well, then give me some new sauce then.
There you go.
Give me some new sauce.
Yeah, and look at motherfuckers that are trying to make sauce, bro. Pink sauce, homie. I think there's your show, homie. We ain't making ketchup again neither.
It's mayo chip. We're gonna eat mayo chip.
like there ain't a motherfucker coming out that hasn't already had ranch. They're just making spin-off of ranch.
And I mean, then you get your spin-offs of ketchup. I mean, we got green ketchup already.
We already got that.
Okay.
It's already there.
You know what? This
feel me?
is what I'm gonna do. This is what I'm gonna do. For everybody that's watching, this is what I'm gonna do. In the next 60 days, I'm gonna go to 3 open mics.
Oh,
3 open mics.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good luck.
I'm gonna take time off of work and I'm gonna go to 3 open mics. And I'm gonna sit there. And I'm gonna give every last one of those artists
An ear.
an ear. I'm not gonna be biased. I'm not gonna be anything. I'm just going to hear them. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to tell you exactly what I heard and what I thought that it could have been, but again, would it fall short or did they hit the bullseye?
If I would have known this before, I would have said, we can go to one tonight. It's one right now.
That and why I'm saying this is because I will never give up on my culture.
Absolutely.
Okay. And I'm not flaming any new person at all. I'm not saying y'all whack, y'all stupid, or whatever. What I'm saying is genuinely facts. Number one, I understand we buy into the business. This is a business at the end of the day, and you got to pay your bills. You know what I'm saying? And the consumer wants what the consumer wants. But it's one thing Busta Rhymes said in one of his interviews is that every rapper has the very best superpower in the world, the power of a fucking word. And your word can change somebody or can destroy somebody.
That's a bar.
He said mic drop.
That's a bar, bro.
He said mic drop.
That's a bar.
So, okay.
This is a 2 a.m. bar.
I feel like we're kind of, we're getting to the nice plateau. We got a lot of stuff out here on the table. I'm gonna kind of like throw our wrap up topic on here.
Okay, go ahead.
Is what is being done right now in the space something like, okay, with this conversation that we just had very much in mind, we got to give it time, right? We do have to accept it. And I personally find a decent amount of inspiration in a lot of the stuff that I listen to. Cause I mean, I listen to some off the wall shit, like some different ass shit. And, like there's something there, and I want to hear y'all's thoughts on that. Like, do you entertain it? Or do you think there's a fix? I guess is the question.
You got to start giving things a chance.
Yeah, you do.
Like, you got to just start like we could talk about, you know, hitting up some open mics. Like, definitely we should do that because that's important. You see what's local. But like, I found myself a couple of days ago where I was like, I just want to hear something different. And I just kind of started looking for stuff. And I found what I was looking for. I found some avant-garde stuff. Yo, I started listening to Clipping, which I've never listened to Clipping before. If you haven't heard of Clipping, yo, look up Clipping, bro. Best duo, hip-hop duo that I've heard in a while. And like, they've been out for a long time. Have made music with all kinds of folks. But they have like some avant-garde sound that's way different. And being able to like enjoy that made me realize that there is something good out there. There's quality out there.
Oh yeah.
We just have so much out here. There's so much to listen to that you have to sift and find what avenue you really need to
and some of these people right now, they're on a different time, bro. Like, they're on a different time.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, they're on a different time. Which, I mean, like, I'm on a different time for sure. Mm-hmm. Like, if it makes me bang my head, I'm okay.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, like,
listening,
like, there's a time for that, and like, I'll get in my, like, you know, flowy, like, softer stuff too, stuff like that. But like, man, there is some stuff out there.
Before we go, I want to say one thing. This is all to my artists, producers, beat makers, engineers. This is a word of advice, and I'm going to say this, and I'm probably going to get flagged for it. Stop going to these fucking industry nights. Stop going to these industry nights where they say they have A&Rs there looking for you. Let me tell you the real deal, and this is from one of my mentors. I'm going to tell you what they do. They see you hot. They're going to go ahead and talk to you. Just from you talking to an A&R, they already know you're going to be starstruck. They're going to talk some stuff to you. They're going to want some more material from you. When they get the material from you, they get passed on to what's called a snake. What a snake is an underground engineer or producer that takes your stuff, rewrites your stuff, reproduces your stuff, and goes ahead and shops it to a main artist. When the main artist gets it, it's already done. All they got to do is record over the vocals. They have a song. And then you hear the song on the radio or the streaming saying, damn, that sounds kind of like what I was doing, but a little bit weird. That's what they actually do. And that is a secret in the industry right now. And
it's like, we'll buy your song and we'll give you points. We'll buy your song and we'll give you points.
Ooh.
That's dirty, because they'll be like, oh, you're going to get percentages, and maybe you'll get like producing rights and XYZ. Yeah. And then they're going to get you to sign stuff and buy your stuff with like credit, essentially, right? It's like, oh, we'll pay you whenever we make money.
Yes.
And then do exactly what Joey just said. They'll take it. They'll do something heavily inspired. That's technically not what you did. And then they're going to do it and take a whole shaboozle, and you just gave it to them.
And the only reason why I know about this is because I was there through that whole process. And again, one of my mentors that I will not mention his name, he was one of those people, and he did something dirty to one of the songs that was considered a classic song back in the 90s. So that's how I know that happens. So these industry nights, you can go ahead and do whatever you want to do. But I'm just letting you know, be prepared. Have your copyrights ready. Have your publishing ready. If they want to talk, you have someone there with you that has some goddamn sense enough, that knows the industry enough, where they can go ahead and be like, yo, you want to talk? This is what they're going to want to need. Okay.
I'll say something real quick to add on to this. They are not buying your songs anymore. They have the people that can make the sounds you're making. They are looking to steal your inspiration. Because we don't sell a specific sound anymore. We don't sell what comes out of your box, because your box is already something someone else made, and they're just trying to take inspiration. Inspiration is what sells hot now.
Because
it's not It's not the sound. It's not how you put it together. It's the inspiration behind what you created. And that is very valuable now.
Exactly. So just keep that in mind. And I'm looking out for every artist. Doesn't matter whether you're the best artist or the wackest artist. I'm just looking out for my artists and my producers. And any questions that you have, again, as much as I didn't make it straight through the industry, I have credits in the industry. I've done a lot of stuff. My family is in the industry. And I'm just letting you guys know that between this and the dope game ain't no different. The only difference is that they wear suits and they have legal gibberish. That is it.
Yep. All right, guys. With that, I think we're going to sign off for this one. It was an absolute pleasure having Nate and Joey back in the house. Like I said before, we're going to see this content a little bit more regularly. So consider these guys mainstays. These are the hosts. We're going to attempt to get some guests up in here. Get someone a little bit more close and cuddly over here with Joey now.
I am Say-I Boy.
That's what I'm
Get
saying.
your ass in here.
That's what I'm saying. Also, we do have some other artists that I work with, and I don't know how to hook up like a Zoom call with this, but I'll try to figure that out.
We definitely could do that.
Yeah,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is Loft Talk Music signing off. We'll catch you on the next one. Hope you guys enjoy.
Deuces.
Later.